So good evening, guys. Couple things today. Flew the number 2 kit, who are the squeakers, 3 times today. Third time, another peregrine attack. Came down out of nowhere. Kind of struck from the same direction as last time. Didn't quite go to the east, went a little northeast this time. Got a silver this time. One it got yesterday was turned out was a cream bar bald head that I had pretty high hopes for. It was a cream bar bald head with grouse legs off of a really good hen. Had super high hopes for that pigeon since it was almost a duplicate of its mother, and she was a pretty fast deep roller, very frequent, little bit spooky at times, a little unstable sometimes, but sometimes you have to stalk them when they're young just to keep them around. If not, the falcons are going to get them. So needless to say, that's 2 back-to-back kills by peregrines in the last 48 hours. In other news, I road trained the Rakovniks yesterday. I took 11. I got 5 of them back this morning. They were out for a bit, so I got 5 back this morning and none back later. And later this evening, I got a knock on the door from one of the neighbors down the road, because it wasn't that far of a distance. And I've had birds here a long time, and my family's been here a long time, and some guy from down the road told me and he wasn't that far away, only about 800 or 900 air feet, and he said, hey, I think 6 of your pigeons are sitting on my roof. So I went over there, and sure enough, there were the 6 missing Rakovniks, technically within line of sight of the loft, after flying for most of the quarter mile. And they were sitting on his roof, and needless to say, I told him, okay, after dinner I'll pop over and see what I can do on it, see if I can at least flush him. Took 5 of the racers over and figured I would maybe, at least get them to play tag along with them. Took a flag over in case I needed to flush them. And I took their training cage over, the training basket I used for the tunnel training with them. And interestingly enough, even though these guys are not mobile trained, and I never thought they would do this, they actually came right down and went back in their training basket. So it was kind of, there are people who train out of baskets like that in mobile fly from baskets. So it was kind of interesting to be able to go down there and basically get the same result. They were very hungry. They're still eating here, as you can see. But that is everybody back. So half of them made it on their own volition through the morning, back to the loft from a quarter mile, and the other 6 almost made it. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe maybe the falcon got in the middle of them and knocked them down, and they just sat on the roof in shock. Or it could also be we've got a lot of wildfire smoke. Or it could just be they were lounging around, but I don't think so, because they were pretty hungry when I went to get them, and they were thirsty. So I mean, even after giving them a little bit of feed, you can see them here on the ground looking for more. So that is it, guys. Definitely interesting day here with the second peregrine attack in the late part of July and 95-degree temperature. That's not really supposed to happen. Most people will tell you who know a lot about bird of prey behavior, they'll tell you that it's only a winter problem, and it's not. They are here all the time. And like I said, interesting experience with the Rakovniks. It is good that the one half flew home from a quarter mile, even though it took them a little while, for not flying. They definitely had a rough go of it, I'll tell you that much. They came in pretty beat up. They are not racing homers, obviously, and having not flown much, definitely a big workout for them. they'll get a rest. These other guys, they've obviously sat on a hot rooftop most of the day, apparently. So they were definitely hungry and thirsty, but kind of an interesting experience being able to call them down into that red and white training basket, which they were tunnel trained in that. So it's interesting that they've formed an association with the red and white basket. And keep in mind, these guys, they haven't been through the tunnel for quite a while. Almost. I went back and looked at the video when I was tunnel trained. That was 3 months ago. They were starting to be tunnel trained. So they've been out here, outside, in the kit loft on their own pretty much for about a month and a half, almost 2 months. Supposedly flying, not really flying. So it is interesting that they kept the association up and just a little bit of grain. I mean, they basically put the basket in the back of the truck and went over there and parked and put the basket out. And you could see them, I could see them all lined up on the guy's rooftop, and they perked up and got a little feed out, rattled a little bit. That got their attention. They flew from the roof, and they actually landed on the top of the truck and jumped down into the bed of the truck, and into the basket they went, and closed the, shoot them in, close the door behind them, away we went. So kind of very, very interesting. So I've never actually done any mobile flying. I may do that just as a to-do thing. Probably won't use these Rakovniks. I'll probably use my Rollers to do it, obviously. They've got a little better flying ability than these guys so far. There's still a lot of work here on the Rakovniks to do, but that is it, guys. See you all next time. Keep them flying out there.